Let's see, I met Bill in the fall of 1999 in Central Park. My partner and I, the editor of Bark, were there at a dog event, a dog walk, and a man came riding up on a bicycle, a big bear of a man, a big smile on his face, and he said, "I draw dogs, I should be in your magazine." And that was Bill Charmatz, our introduction to Mr. Charmatz, and we're thrilled to just be introduced to 40, 50 years of wonderful art and illustration, and realized after a few minutes that we kind of stumbled upon this gold mine and this man who was really extremely talented and certainly drew dogs and a lot more.
I like the artists who worked more in brush and created that ragged, that jagged, that unfinished line that really was finished. And, you know, Bill had that. I was doing a book in 1978 called Artist Christmas Cards. And I went to a lot of illustrators, a lot of artists, painters, etc. And Bill was one of them. Our lives crossed again and he became the crime illustrator.
He was just perfect for me. The sense of humor was dark and light at the same time, and that was sort of the tone I was trying for in my column. There was always that wonderful illustration that in a few strong, sharp, definitive lines summed it all up. And I would say, yes, that's how it should be. It should be clean. It should be strong. It should be bold. And it should be really, really funny.
It was Christmas time, and the art director received a whole bunch of holiday cards and, you know, designer cards and everything. There was one card that stuck out. I went to it immediately, and it was a hand-done card. I guess it was 1953, 54. I said, I have to meet this guy.
I first met Bill in September 2000. Bill was wearing a blue coat and his signature blue tie with the red polka dots on it, the flashing blue eyes, and I think he had on his usual sweatpants. I kind of remember because he dressed in a way that most people would recognize if they saw it once. Remember?
It's a dim past, but a wonderful past. And Bill came into my life through Teddy, my wife, because we were all in the same school at SIA in New York. And so that was around 47, 48. One of the campaigns we worked on, the major one, was at U.S. News and World Report, which was at McManus, John and Adams, with the media campaigns. They ran in the Times, they were at the airports, huge posters.
As an artist, I guess I remember his truthfulness and his vitality and his humor and and his delicious color and precision of line. He's a real American artist for me. I see him as being very American. What that means to me is putting it down, but putting it fast and plain. It's kind of a plainness, which aesthetically, it's just so gorgeous. But I like that straightness of American stuff. Just put it there and let it, let it speak for itself.
It was unbelievable, the creative being that he was. He just doodled around and magically these figures would appear in front of you. There was one assignment that we were pitching a News Radio 88. New big piece of business, and I came over with a set of 12 magic markers and a bottle of Dewar's, and we started, and I'll never forget, it was about 5 in the morning. We were finished. We must have had 200 illustrations by that time. The markers were dry and the scotch was gone. And it was a very successful campaign.
I remember calling him and saying, I've got a cover for you. You know, he was able to capture in those brushstrokes mood and emotion and activity.
He really helped giving illustration another dimension, in a sense. In the humorous vein, but still as drawings, as pieces of art.
Every Christmas, he really outdid himself with his Christmas cards. I think it was really one of his most inspired themes was Santa holding up his reindeer. Well, he was wonderful at using animal parts and animals were always holding up the equivalent of their hands. So if you were a dog with long floppy ears, then you would hold up your ears and surrender.
Speak to me.
His love of animals was one of his most pronounced, one of his most obvious characteristics. He loved animals and had dogs all his life, but also loved cats, respected them, never had cats as pets, but he himself is identified with cats. And he looked at himself emotionally, he looked at himself physically, he looked at himself even spiritually through the cats. But their presences, they're big, they're strong, they're inscrutable. There's a great mystery about his cats as well.
I think he must have loved the texture. He must have loved texture of things. I never thought about that, but when I think about his dogs, I realize they're all texture. You know, the hair's going this way and the ears going that way and the eyes. The last period, he was doing all these horses with like terrific mobility and nobility. He just had, he captured, and he captured fast.
How do you draw a horse like that without studying it? Degas studied horses all his life, and Bill drew these horses. They were just fantastic. I mean, it's just anatomically beautiful, and so the memory, the visual memory must have been quite extraordinary.